Before we took the break, I was talking to both Harbhajan and Suresh Raina about that one weakness that Australia has, and both of them pointed out that it's probably their spin bowling department that India can look to target. But we saw in that game in the series just before the World Cup started, Glenn Maxwell goes on to pick 4 wickets. Can we really say that they have a weak spin bowling department?
Well, yes, as far as bowling is concerned, their real strength is in their 3 new ball bowlers. Hazelwood, Mitchell Starc and the captain, Pat Cummins. After that, I don't think they've got the bowlers who can really restrict an in-form Indian batting lineup. You know, if people are going to batting the way they did, like for example, when we saw the centuries from Shreyas Iyer and Shubman Gill, they were not able to stop. For me, the area that India should really look to capitalize on is when Smith and Labuschagne are batting. Because that is where they are the kind of batters who like to work the ones and twos. They are not the big hitters like a Warner is, or a Mitchell Marsh is, or a Maxwell is, Cameron Green can be. So, you know, that's the area that they've got to really get their overs in very quickly against these guys. Those 15, 20 overs, if you can bowl to Smith and Labuschagne, and maybe concede 4 runs and over, or at best 5 runs and over, 60 to 75 runs, you are giving yourself less runs to chase in case Aussies bat first.
All right, we are getting news from Chepauk that Australia have won the toss and they have decided to bat first. So that's the big news coming in from Chennai. The Australian skipper, Pat Cummins, winning the toss, and they've decided to bat first. That's very, very interesting because just a short while ago on our program, we heard from Suresh Raina saying that the right thing to do in Chennai this time of the year is to be chasing, simply because you get a lot of dew this time of the year. So a bit surprising that Australia then have decided to bat first. Saima, what do you make of the decision, and what do you think could be the reasons behind it?
I think, yeah, there could be 2 reasons. One is obviously it's a big game, lots of pressure on the Indian team. So you want to put runs on the board. So you put pressure, scoreboard pressure on the Indian team when they come in to chase. But I think the other more important reason is that the heat. The heat is such in Chennai, you know, even now, is that, you know, you don't want to get tired fielding for 3.5 hours. So when you're going in, you know, some part of your energy levels have been taken away while you're fielding. So maybe you might get a good 70, 80, but if your team needs 150, you might not have that as a batting unit. So I think that's one of the reasons that it could be that they have opted to bat first.
Just looking at it in hindsight, would India be okay chasing one? Because if that dew factor does play out, and with India, if they've gone in with 3 spinners, they would prefer in that sense to be bowling in the first half, so that the spinners then can be doing all the damage. And on the other, we don't know with this Australian batting lineup, as you mentioned, they've got a lot of hitters, so we really don't know if you're batting first, what is really the par total. So in that sense, if you're chasing, you can place your innings in the right manner.
Yeah, India has always been a good chasing unit, not such a great defending unit. Unless you get 300 runs on the board, give your bowlers 300 runs, and sometimes even that has not been enough. So I don't think India will be complaining at all. As you said, they don't have to bowl with a wet ball in case in case there's a bit of dew, as Suresh Raina, who's played a lot of cricket over there, talks about. So clearly, yes, it might actually work in India's favour, that India is going to be chasing whatever Australia puts on the board.
Okay, Saima, I have the team with me right now, and you've got Rohit Sharma and Ishan Kishan, so no surprise there, as everyone expected. Ishan Kishan does make it to the team. Number 3, Virat Kohli, no surprises there. There were a few question marks whether Shreyas Iyer would be playing in the 11, because there was also talk about Surya Kumar Yadav. So now those doubts are also cleared, because Shreyas Iyer does make it to the 11. He's going to be batting at 4. At least that's what the batting card mentions for the Indian team. KL Rahul, as expected, the wicketkeeper batter, at number 5. Then you've got Hardik Pandya at number 6, which is also pretty much sealed. You've got Ravindra Jadeja at number 7, the spin bowling all-rounder that India has. And interestingly, as was being expected, Ravichandran Ashwin is at number 8. So India then have gone with 3 spinners, because at number 9 you've got Kuldeep Yadav, and then the 2 fast bowlers, you've got Jasprit Bumrah at number 10 and Mohammad Siraj at 11. So again, if you are looking as to who would play between Siraj and Shami, that question is also answered. It is going to be Mohammad Siraj at 11, and India going in with 3 spinners.